Hello, everyone. Good evening. How's everyone? How are you all? Who's with us? Let's see. Hello, Brian. Hello, Les.
Hello.
Hello.
How are
Hello,
you?
Rabbi.
Stephen.
Hi, Rabbi.
How are you all? Hello,
Baruch
Brian.
Hashem, you.
Hello, Linda.
Hello, Rabbi.
Stephen. How's it? How's it? How
Hello,
are you?
Rob.
Hello, Rabbi.
Marky, how's it? Hello,
How are
Janet.
you?
Hello, Gabriel. How are you all?
Baruch
How are
Hashem.
you all? Nice seeing you with us.
All good.
Good, good, good,
Hello,
good,
Rob.
good. How's it, Johnny? How are you? Everyone
Hashem,
good?
you.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Rob, can I ask a question? Have you all heard of the breaking news that Israel
We
signed a peace agreement with the UAE?
Yes, 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 yes.
It's historic. It's really historic.
You hear what the president of Egypt said?
No.
The president of Egypt said about that process, that will bring a lot of stability to the Middle East, please God.
Wow. Please God. Bezrat Hashem.
Let's
Wow.
hope. Let's
But
hope
it's
that that's
historic.
gonna
It's really
be
historic. Wow.
everything is
This is the only
historic.
piece of good news we've had the whole year.
Yeah. And hearing the Rav Shirim. Hearing your Shirim's been very good news.
Yeah.
Okay, Rabotai, we're going to start the shiur, so I'm going to mute everyone. Take it on yourself that I'm going to mute everyone. Everyone is muted, and we're going to start the shiur, except Mark, that Mark obviously going to be the Baal Koreh. בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. השיעור יהיה לעילוי נשמת מרדכי בן רחמה, אסתר קדן בת קציעה, ואסתר בת משה הלוי, ולרפואת ליאורה בת מרים, מנשה בן פרחה, ולירון בן שרית, שמואל בן מיכל. Please God, רפואה שלמה, for all of those that need רפואה שלמה. Sorry, anyone want to add up name?
I have a name. Mayan
Sure.
Leah Bat Aviva Batya.
מעיין אליה בת
Aviva Batya.
אביבה בתיה. Please God, רפואה שלמה.
Amen. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Or we can start. Okay, we're going to start. So, Rabotai, we now in Parashat Re'eh. Before we start the shiur, I just want to tell you on Sunday, I'm going to speak about the book of Devarim. The special about this book, and you'll see something extraordinary that I'm going to speak on Sunday. What is the book of Devarim? How extraordinary and how special the book of Devarim. That's for Sunday. But now we're going to start Parashat Re'eh. Parashat Re'eh start like this. ראה אנוכי נותן לפניכם היום ברכה וקללה.
See, I present before you today a blessing and a curse.
Sounds simple, huh? Let's see what does it mean. Here, the Torah tells us that it represents brocha and klala, but the word re'eh, look, watch. Why does it start with the word watch? And many of the mefarshim say, if you look at that verse, look how it starts. Re'eh, it's singular. It doesn't say re'u. Re'u is plural. It says re'eh, re'eh. That means look, the individual. And then it says, Anochi noten lifnechem. Lifnechem, it's moved to plural. Why? Why is the Torah start this verse in single and move to plural? That's one of the common questions that we ask almost every year. And today, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to bring two different commentaries, two different ideas by the Mefarshim. So the first commentary I'm going to bring, it's going to be the commentary of the Gaon Mivilna. The Gaon Mivilna, his name is Rabbi Eliyahu ben Shlomo Zalman. He born exactly 300 years ago, and it's not sure where exactly he born. There is some people say that he born in Lita. Some people say no, he born in Vilna. Vice versa, it doesn't make a difference. That's where he born. He born in Europe. And he say like this, there is what we call the effect of the herd. I'm translating his Hebrew to English, and I will explain what it means, the effect of the herd. Effect of the herd, we all know that when there is a sheep, when there is a flock, if one sheep follow one way, all of them running, everyone follow that. It's come to tell you, said the Gaon Mevilna like this, don't have that effect on you. What does it mean? If you see certain people have certain style, because everyone driving a new car, you also must drive a new car. People dress in certain style, because they dress in certain style. I also must dress in certain style, because people do celebrate the festival, or they celebrate the Simha, which is an extravaganza idea. You shouldn't be like this. You should stop and you should say to yourself, Re'eh. What it means, Re'eh? Turn and think for a second. Turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say, is that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants for me? Is that what the Shulchan Aruch asked me to do? If that's not what the Shulchan Aruch asked me to do, don't do it. Don't be like everyone else. The word Re'eh come to tell you, look, stop for a second, think. Not because everyone drive a new car, that means that you have to drive a new car. Because everyone dress with a certain style, I must dress with that certain style. Is that style against HaKadosh Baruch Hu? If it's yes, don't do it. That's what it says. You be the individual and watch, and your obligation, watch if the others right or not. If they're not right, don't follow them. And that's what the Torah starting singly to tell you, that you should have and you should look and you must choose only the right way in life. That means that life, it's all about the right choice. What it means, the right choice? Shulchan Aruch of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Don't follow others because they have a style or because that's the common thing. You have to watch what HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell you. You have to do the Shulchan Aruch. That's all. Not more, not less. Just do the Shulchan Aruch. And if that Shulchan Aruch say that you're not allowed to do it, don't do it. Not because everyone have a brand new car, you also obligate to have a brand new car. No, not at all. You obligated to do things that the Shulchan Aruch say. And you must do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to do. And that's what we're going to speak today a lot, about the brocha and the klala. How do we receive brocha and how a person can receive a klala? The second idea that I wanted to explain is the idea that bring the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh. Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, it's Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh. Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh born in a city of Andripoli. Today it's called Andripolia. Andripolia is in Turkey. He born 513 years ago. And he explained that the main reason that the Torah started singly and then it's moved to plural, it's come to tell us that a person has to understand the individual concept, because the entire congregation doing mitzvot, if I do one avera or I do a small avera, I don't know if there is such thing, small avera, but some people live in this kind of a fault. It's a small avera. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will forgive me. No. You have to understand that although that the entire congregation, religious and righteous people, if someone done avera, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will punish him. And he mustn't think for a second that the merit of the congregation, that will do atonement for his avera, the opposite. By that the person, the individual doing avera, what does it mean? There is a change. And if you break one of the link, you cause a breakage. That means if you take electrical cable, and if one of the wire broke, the current doesn't go through. And that's what it's come to tell you. What it means, bracha uklala? Make sure that you don't break that change. Make sure that there is no cut in the wire. That means that none of the link is broken. Because if there is one link broken, that means that there is averot. And then, lo aleinu, the curse come. But if we're all going to be united, there is only blessing. Let's continue. The word hayom. Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom. Why is the word hayom been mentioned here? Many of the commentary asked that question. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu use the word hayom, today? Why you couldn't say re'eh anochi noten lifnechem bracha uklala? Why you have to mention hayom, today? So I'm going to bring again two different commentaries. The one commentary is from Rabbi David HaKohen. Rabbi David HaKohen wrote the book Ahavat David, the love of David. And in his commentary, in his book, he explained that the main reason that Moshe Rabbeinu used the word hayom, the word today, it's come to teach us that today, that a person, that even if he was all of his life doing sin, but one day he can change his life. When a person change his role, when a person change his life and start doing mitzvot, that's when a person take a different rail. That means a different trail. He's on the right trail. But when a person do averot, lo aleinu, although that all of his life he maybe was righteous man, but if he start taking the wrong turn, he's on a wrong rail, that's it. It's finished. So it's come to tell you something extraordinary. The word hayom, a person can change himself to good or for bad. How can you change yourself from good or to bad? If you change your deeds. A person that all of his life done averot, didn't know, by mistake. Tinok shenishba, what we call it. He didn't know. But suddenly he found out that there is Torah, there is mitzvot. And he changed that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to us, hayom. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu used the word hayom. That by a person can change his status, but one day that he's doing tshuva. That means yesterday he was a choteh, that means a sinner. Today he can be Baal mitzvot, Baal tshuva. And that's the word hayom. Other explanation for the word hayom, why did Moshe Rabbeinu use dafka the word hayom? I saw a commentary of Rabbi Mordechai Cohen. Rabbi Mordechai Cohen, look, it's actually a very nice coincidence. Both of them have the same surname. The only difference that they didn't live in the same time space. Rabbi Mordechai Cohen, we brought him previously a number of times. We mentioned his name. Rabbi Mordechai Cohen, he was the student of the Maran Shulchan Aruch. That means Rabbi Yosef Karo, that wrote the Shulchan Aruch. He was one of his students. And in his commentary on the Torah, he explained like this. Rabbi Mordechai Cohen explained in his book Siftei Kohen, he explained like this. He explained that Moshe Rabbeinu knew that will come generation that will try to be porkei ol, and they're going to try not to keep the mitzvot, and they're going to try to use any excuse. By that they're saying, you know, time is changed, condition is changed, you know. Come to tell you, Moshe Rabbeinu come and say hayom. What it mean hayom? The same like Bnei Israel received the Torah on Mount Sinai, this Torah going to be applicable to every generation like they received it today. That means the Torah will never change forever. So for those people like, for example, the Reform, that want to change our Torah, that they making different rules, okay? Come Moshe Rabbeinu and say, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom. What does it mean hayom? Today. What does it mean today? The same like you received the Torah in Ma'amad Har Sinai, that when you receive the Torah on Mount Sinai, that Torah will be forever and ever for every generation after. It's like the same day that you received the Torah. Those mitzvot not going to change. Because if you're not going to keep the mitzvot, that will bring the curse on you. But if you keep the mitzvot and you're not going to try to change and you're not going to try to be very clever about it, the blessing will come of you. That means if you take it on yourself that the mitzvot that we receive in Mount Sinai are applicable until today or until the Mashiach come, then you'll have blessing. Then it says bracha uklala. Why is it mentioned bracha uklala? Blessing and cursing. Why do you have to say it together? So I saw a commentary of Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel. Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel, born in a city of Lisbon in Portugal. He born 583 years ago. And he said that here Moshe Rabbeinu revealed to us a secret without even realizing. He said by that Moshe Rabbeinu said blessing and cursing together, it's come to tell us something extraordinary. It's come to tell us if a person sitting and doesn't do Avera, that means a person have a chance to do Avera and he didn't done it, he'll merit, okay, for a blessing. What it mean blessing? Blessing, it mean light. He get blessed and light. So you say immediately, how come? It's like for us, to give us analogy to understand. If I stop in a stop street and the police see me, he say, okay, you stop in a stop street. I'm going to merit you. I'm going to give you 100 rand. Just for example. In a country like this, everyone will move there. It's come to tell you by that you have a chance to do Avera and you didn't done it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give you that you didn't done it, he will consider it as a mitzvah. But from the other way, he say, why klala? Why did he put klala together? That if you have a chance to do a mitzvah and you didn't done it, lo aleinu, that will consider as avera. And avera mean cursing and darkness. While mitzvah mean blessing and light. Now we can understand what Moshe Rabbeinu say together, brocha and klala. That means by that a person didn't done avera, it will consider to him as a blessing. By that it's considered to you as a blessing because you didn't done avera and you can do it. And say the Don Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel, where do you learn that? He said, I'll give you a source where you learned that. He bring the Gemara in Masechet Kedushin. The Gemara in Masechet Kedushin in page 39, folio 2 say, listen to that. Yashav velo avar avera. A person that sat and he didn't do avera, when it means sit, that it means that he have a chance to do avera, but he didn't done it. Okay? Notnim lo sachar arbe ka'oseh mitzvah. He will reward it a lot, like he done a mitzvah. That means from here we learn something extraordinary, Rabotai. If a person can do Avera and he didn't done it, not only that he not gonna be punished, he gonna be rewarded. But if a person can do a mitzvah to help someone and you didn't help your friend, that's considered as Avera. And that's why they're together. The Torah come to teach us that when it's time to do mitzvot, you're obligated to do it. And if you see averot and you conquer that evil inclination and you didn't done it, you'll get a reward for it like you've done a mitzvah. And that's the Hidushir of Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel. Let's move on to verse 27. And in verse 27, look what it says. In verse 27, it says like this. את הברכה אשר תשמעו אל מצוות אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר אנוכי מצווה אתכם היום. And in verse 28 it says, sorry, Mark, והקללה אם לא תשמעו אל מצוות השם. בכבוד.
The blessing that you hearken to the commandments of Hashem your God, that I command you today, and the curse if you do not hearken to the commandments of Hashem your God, and you stray from the path that I have commanded that I commanded you today, to follow gods of others that you did not know.
Okay, here we see something very extraordinary. If you look at that verse, you'll see that there is a different pronouncing. Et habracha asher tishma'u. The blessing, I'm translating Hebrew to English. The blessing that you should listen. And when it's come to the curses, it says, ve'aklalaim lo tishma'u. If you're not going to listen. And Hazal immediately, many of the Mefarshim say, whoa, wait, we have to understand. Why does it say on the brocha, asher tishma'u, that you should listen? But when it came to the cursing, it said, if you're not going to listen. Why is that? Why didn't it say, ve'aklala asher tishma'u? Lo tishma'u. If you're not going to listen, you'll get the curses. But it doesn't say that. It says, if you're not going to listen to me and you'll do averot, then I will punish. And that's what we have to understand. Why is the difference between the blessing and the cursing? So I'm going to bring the commentary of the Maharhu, Rabbi Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital, I'm just going to repeat, born in Jerusalem 478 years ago. And he was the main student of the Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi. And that was the time of the golden era in Tzfat in the 16th century, that they all was a great Kabbalistic. And the Maharhu explained like this. The Maharhu said, by that it said, Et habracha asher tishma'u, it's come to tell us something extraordinary. When a person gonna take on himself to listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, immediately, that means automatically the blessing will start working for him. But when is it going to work, the cursing? He said, the cursing going to work only if you're not going to listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means when you're doing averot. That means when a person didn't done averot, but he didn't done mitzvot, he's not going to get punished. When is the averot going to start? Averot going to start when a person doesn't listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in action. For example, the Torah tells us not to do certain things, and he doesn't do it. Or the Torah tells us to do certain things, and he doesn't do it. Come the Maharho and say something extraordinary. That's what the Torah tells us. Et habracha, the brocha, when you're going to receive it, asher tishma'u. When you only willing to listen, immediately that blessing going to come on you. So, said the Maharho, you know where I learned it from? That's easy. I learned that from the Gemara in Masechet Kedushim again, page 39, folio 2, what we mentioned earlier. And he said like this, Mahshava tova, Hazal tell us in the Gemara something extraordinary. Mahshava tova, HaKadosh Baruch Hu metzarfa lemaaseh. What does it mean? A person that was thinking to do a mitzvah, he have his mind, if he gonna win in a lottery, he bought a ticket on a lottery, and he say, if I'm gonna win the lottery, the lotto, I'm gonna give tzedakah certain amount. Okay, he bought the ticket, and he didn't win the lottery. Say Hazal, ado so, that's considered as a mitzvah, like you done it. But I didn't give the money. Yes, you didn't give the money, but your fault was a good fault. HaKadosh Baruch Hu consider it like you done it. Metzarfa lemaaseh. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu make it one. It tell you like this. In the Hazal continue and say, Umahshava ra'a, when a person have a bad thought, en HaKadosh Baruch Hu metzarfa lemaaseh. When a person, I will explain what the Gemara say. Hazal say, if a person have in mind, you know what, I'm going to rob a bank. I'm going to murder someone. I'm going to steal something, whatever. For some reason, he didn't done it. Although that he fought to do it, he have a plan to do it, he have everything ready, but he didn't done that avera. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't consider it as avera. And that's what it's come to say, Asher Tishme'u, okay? That's for the brocha. When it's come to the kelala, it says, Im lo tishme'u, only when you do the action. Then I will curse you. But if you have a thought to do it and you didn't done it, I'm not going to consider it avera. Now, it's except one occasion. If a person have in mind to worship idols, Hazal say in the Gemara, in Masechet Kedushim Lamed Tet Amud Bet, Hazal say, if a person have a thought to worship idols and how I don't want to go into it, how much is so great and etc., Haz v'shalom, in that case, although that you didn't worship idols, you just thought about it, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will consider it like you done Avodah Zarah. Like you worship, and then that's considered as Avera. Like you done the Avera, lo alenu, like you done the sin. That means, in one condition, a thought can hold up against you. When a person think about Avodah Zarah. And that's what Hazal tell us. Hazal tell us here that the Torah come to teach us that if you thought to do mitzvah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu immediately will put it into action. Even if you didn't manage to do it for whatever reason. You plan to go to build a shoe. If I'm going to get that money, I'll build that shoe. But you didn't get the money. Or you couldn't for some reason. HaKadosh Baruch Hu consider like you building Bet HaMikdash. I thought that you didn't done it. Yes. But you have a good thought. But if a person have a bad thought to murder, to rob, to kill, to whatever you want to call it, but he didn't done it, that doesn't stand up as a avera. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't consider it as a avera. Only in one action, when you think about Avodah Zarah. And that's why it say here, Asher Tishme'u. What it mean, Asher Tishme'u? It's enough for you just to listen. Immediately, it's considered as a brocha, and I will bless you. And that's what the Pasuk come and try to teach us. Let's move on now to chapter 12, verse 4. And here, the Torah tells us something extraordinary. Look what it said, the Torah here. The Torah tells us like this, Lo ta'asu ken la'Hashem Elokechem.
You should not do this to Hashem, your God.
Okay, what does the Torah speak about? So I'm going to do a bit of introduction and we'll explain. The Torah tells us in a previous verse that one of the mitzvot that we have when we entering to Eretz Israel, it's one of the mitzvot that we have, it's to destroy and to annihilate all idols. Wherever there is idol or the house of idols, we obligate to destroy them and to annihilate them. That's the Torah tells us. In this verse, the Torah tells us, the same that you obligate to do to the idols, you're not obligated, you're actually forbidden from doing to the house of God. What does it mean? A person not allowed to destroy Haz v'Shalom, a shul, or to destroy Bet HaMikdash, or any place that it's holy. That's what Hazal tells us. That's on the pshat of the Dvarim. But we have to understand, why does it say, Lo ta'asu ken la'Hashem Elokechem? If you told me that I'm obligated to destroy the house of idols, to annihilate them, to destroy wherever Avodah Zarah that there is, anything like this, automatically I will understand him. I'm obligated to do that. I'm not obligated to do the other thing. I have a negative command. So why is the Torah tell us that? So I'm going to bring two different ideas and we'll understand that. Hazal tell us from that the Torah tell us, Lo ta'asu ken la'Adonai Elohechem. Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Makot in page 22, folio 1, tell us, from here you learn something, negative command. What negative command can I learn? Hazal said that from here you learn that you're not allowed to raise one of the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means there is holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that it's 72 names, not many of us know them. The most common name that we know is Shem Havaya, Ekye, and Shem Ammonai, and that, those names that we're not allowed to erase. That's the Gemara in Masechet, remember, Makot 22, folio 1. I saw a commentary of Rabbi David Havilio. Rabbi David Havilio say, from that Hazal tell us that you're not allowed to raise one of the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is one thing that Hazal tell us. But if you look deeply, you can learn other mitzvah from here. The Torah tell us that we're not allowed to raise the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's for sure, one of the holy name. But the Torah come to tell us that there is a certain place, only one place, that you can erase the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's the Hidush by that it say, Lo ta'asu ken la'Hashem Elokechem. What is the Hidush? Say Rabbi David Havilio. He say that there is one place that you're allowed to raise the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When is it? It's to bring peace between husband and wife. If the husband have a suspicion of his wife that she commits idolatry, okay, he take her to the Kohen. And the Kohen write the name of the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu on a scroll, and he take that scroll and he put it in the water with the red heifer ash, he mix them together, and then the name of the Almighty get erased, okay, that scroll, the name that been written on that scroll get erased, and he take that water and he let her drink. If she sin, we know she's gonna get bloated. But if she doesn't get sin, she will merit to have beautiful boys, clever boys, smart boys, whatever you want to call it. So it's come to tell you, the Hidush here, Lo ta'asu ken la'Hashem Elokechem. It's not just that you're not allowed to raise the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's also to teach you that there is only one place that you're allowed to raise the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's when it's come to create peace between husband and wife. What does it mean? We learn from here. It's come to teach us how important is Shlom Bayit. How much we should do for Shlom Bayit. And it's not just between husband and wife. It's been between father-in-law and the daughter-in-law, between the mother-in-law and the son-in-law, or the opposite. How much we have to give up. Even if you're right, HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a negative command to erase his name. Here it's come to tell you, when it's come to Shlom Bayit, how important is it? So what we're learning from it, that Shlom Bayit is very important between a husband and a wife. And that's the Hidush here, say Rabbi David Havilio. Okay, you say that. Where do we learn that? The Mefarshim ask. He said, I'll give you an answer. The Gemara in 3 different places say that. Sorry, in four different places. He said the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat in page 116, folio 2. The Gemara in Masechet Sukkah in page 53, folio 2. The Nedarim 66, folio 2. And Makot, Masechet Makot 11, folio 1. He said, look at all of those sources that you get from our sages. How important is it to have Shlom Bayit? And that's the message here. Lo ta'asu ken la'Hashem Elokechem. That means from here we're learning how important is Shlom Bayit. Let's move to verse 5 in chapter 12, and look what it says here. The Torah tell us, כי אם אל המקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיכם מכל שבטיכם, לשום את שמו שם, לשכנו תדרשו ובת השמה.
Rather, only at the place that Hashem your God will choose from among all your tribes to place his name there, shall you seek out his presence and come there.
Okay, this verse, it's a bit, if you look at it on a pshat of the Dvarim, that means that you should go to the place of HaKadosh Baruch Hu choose. That was Bet HaMikdash, because that's where he chose to build his house. Today is Batei Midrashot, Batei Knisiot. What it means? Shul, because we don't have Bet HaMidrash today, Shul and Bet HaMidrash, sorry, we don't have Bet HaMikdash, so Shul and Bet HaMidrash considered Bate Mikdash Me'at. What it means Bet Mikdash Me'at? A small Bet HaMikdash, a mini Bet HaMikdash. But the Hatam Sofer explained it differently. He said, if you take these verses, and he said like this, the Hatam Sofer, that's Rabbi Moshe Sofer, he born in a city of Frankfurt in Germany 257 years ago. And he, in his book, he say, it's book called Torah Moshe, the Torah of Moshe, he called it. He said, when we demand to strive to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then we become part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means, when can we become part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? We become closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we try to strive to become closer to Him. When we'll ask, when we'll demand to strive to come closer to Him, that's when we become close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's what it says. Leshochno tidreshu o bata shama. That means, Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat something extraordinary. Hazal in Masechet Shabbat 104, folio 1, tell us like this. Haba leitaher, mesayim oto. A person that want to become pure, mesayim oto. That means helping him. That when a person want to become close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by that only he demand and he strive, then he become closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means to become close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all you have to do is to demand and to do the first 2 steps. You done those few steps, you're immediately close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When I say close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means to keep Torah and mitzvot. I see that Rabbi Avraham Mordechai Alter. Rabbi Avraham Mordechai Alter, I'll just give you a bit of history. He wrote the book Imre Emet. He was the 4th Rebbe of the movement of Gur. He born in the city of Gur in Poland 154 years ago. Yes, 154 years ago. And he said, if you look at that verse, you'll see something very extraordinary. This verse starts in plural, and it's ending up in singularly. He said, how come? He said, why it starts in plural and it end up in singularly? That's the question of the Rebbe Migur. And he explained like this. Rabbi Avraham Mordechai Alter explained like this. He said that if you look, it starts in plural and it moves to single. He said that the person have to ask himself, why is Bet HaMikdash not exist today? The Torah tells us when you'll ask and you want to get there, you'll get to Bet HaMikdash, you'll get to the house of Hashem. But each one of us have to ask, why is Bet HaMikdash not exist today? And he said, you know why? Biglal sheyesh revim, because there is too much faribol. That means because we are divided. As a Jewish people, we are divided. And he said, all of these faribol, that's the single, because we all divided. And that's what causing the destruction. And he said, what caused the destruction of the second temple? Sinat Hinan, baseless hatred. He said by that it started singly and moved to plural, it started in plural and moved to singly, it's come to teach you something else. You know why you don't have Bet HaMikdash? That's the first question that you have to ask. Because you are single. When you was plural, you was united. When you are single, you are divided. And if you divided, that's what caused the destruction of the temple. So he say that when we're going to rectify our deeds, when we work on our deeds, and we live in peace and unity and love together, that's when Bet HaMikdash is going to be built. So he said, look at that verse. Ki im el hamakom asher yivhar Adonai Elohechem mikol shiftechem. Which means mikol shiftechem. from every one of your tribes. I'm asking you to be united. I'm asking you all to live in peace and harmony, to leave the divide aside, to leave the variable aside. That's what it's come to tell you. Lasum et shemo sham, that you will put his name there. Put everything aside. What you're going to put on top of it? It's the Almighty. And if we all going to worship together in unity as one, the Almighty, then we'll have Bet HaMikdash. Then we can walk into Bet HaMikdash. And that's the message on this. That the only reason that we don't have Bet HaMikdash, faribol. He done that, he said that. So what? So he said, no, said it, he said it. So is that the reason to fight? Is that the reason not to talk to him? That's what we must say to ourselves. And that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants of us, unity. If we united together, that's what is it. Let's move to chapter 13 in verse 5. Let's look what the Torah tells us in chapter 13, verse 5. The Torah here comes to teach us also something extraordinary. The Torah tells us, I'm just trying to get there. I am there, yes. אחרי השם אלוהיכם תלכו, ואותו תיראו, ואת מצוותיו תשמרו, ובקולו תשמעו, ואותו תעבדו, ובו תדבקון.
Hashem your God shall you follow, and him shall you fear. His commandments shall you observe, and his voice shall you hearken. Him you shall serve, and to him you shall cleave.
Okay. Here the Torah tells us, if you look at that verse, it's all in plural. And I see a commentary of Rabbi Avraham Mordechai Alter that we mentioned earlier, that he's the fourth Gur Rebbe. He said, look at that verse. You know, this verse, a matter of fact, is already been mentioned in Parashat Ekev, last Parsha. If you look at chapter 10, verse 20, the Torah tells us the same, almost the same wording in singularly. It's mentioned already. Why does the Torah have to repeat it and now mention it in plural? You already mentioned it in Parashat Ekev in singularly. Remember, chapter 10, verse 20. Mark, you can look at it while I'm talking.
Yep.
And you can see chapter 10, verse 20, Parashat Ekev. There the Torah mentioned almost the same wording, but in singularly, not in plural. And he asked, how come? We know that the Torah never repeats anything. Why is now she repeating again? If you say it in singularly, now you have to say it plural. What is the Hidush here? Must be a great Hidush here. So say Rabbi Avraham Mordechai Alter, he said like this. He said, the one that I mentioned to you in singularly in a previous parsha, that when you have your own difficulties, that means when you want to come and you can daven and you can manage to overcome other people. That means people that try to disturb you, there's no problem because you can focus, you can overcome them. But he said when you come to this verse, the Torah comes to speak about a different time. A time that it's not usual time, like we living now. Now it's not normal. Whatever happening in the world, if you look, it's not normal. Maybe I'll do a show about what's happening in the world for us to understand that we're living in a not normal world, that we actually not only running, we actually sliding in a speed towards the Mashiach. I'll do a show about it, bli neder. He said that there is certain time that you'll see that time is actually different. What does it mean? And now I will explain. He said that here I'm speaking to you in plural, when you see people that actually, that they're enticing against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that they're seducing other people to worship idols. That means they're seducing people not to worship HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He said, in a time like this, you should get united. And that's why I say the Torah said in plural, not in singly. Because when you see that these people that going against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, people that want to fight against the Holy Torah, people that want to fight against our base, our roots, our foundation, that's the Torah as a Jewish people, then you should join forces together and fight them and stop them. Why am I saying it? In the beginning of the week, I got a short video for 4 minutes, 5 minutes of Divrei Torah. And on that, it's a video that came from institute that called Hidabrut, Harav Zamir Cohen, Shalita. Harav Zamir Cohen, in that video, he showed that there is, a matter of fact, a movement in Israel that the name of that movie that they put, it's called Here the Jewish Coming, the Jewish people coming. And actually you can see how they're going against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how do they describe Moshe Rabbeinu, how do they describe Esther HaMalka, and etc. That means that they're going exactly against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like they say, Has v'shalom, I'm frightened to say it. Who's HaKadosh Baruch Hu to tell me what to do? And I don't want to say other words that they're cursing HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They describe Moshe Rabbeinu as a dictator. And you must see what they speak about him. How much he cried, how much he strived, and he saved us. They describe him like a dictator. You can't believe. Esther HaMalka, they describe her, I don't want to even say the word, Has v'shalom. Like she have to go to Ahashverosh. It's actually, I'm frightened even to mention that. So in a time like this verse comes. Say, Rabbi Avraham Mordechai Alte, he said like this, when you see that there is people that try to entice other people to fight against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to try to destroy the Jewish religion, to try to destroy HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay? And those that try to seduce other people to go against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Dafka, in this difficult time, we should unite it and we should stand together to fight against them, to stop it. He said, yes, that's what the Torah come and repeat that verse again in plural, to tell us that when you see that there is people that try to fight against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we as Jewish should to fight those people. People like the Reform, that try to change our religion. People that fight against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm not talking about Gentile, I'm talking about Jewish people that fight. And that's what the Pasuk come to tell us. That means that we obligate to stop it, and we can do it only together. Only when we united together, we have the enough strength to stop them, because the individual can't fight against them. And that's why it's mentioned in plural. Now we can understand why the Torah repeat that verse in plural. Let's move to chapter 14, verse 22. And with that, I'm going to want to end up with something good. I don't want to end up with something bad. It's always Hazal said that you should end up with something good. In verse 22, listen to what the Torah tells us. Asor te'aser et kol dvuat zaracha היוצא השדה שנה שנה.
You shall tithe the entire crop of your planting, the produce of the field, year by year.
Okay, here the Torah speak about maaser. I don't know how many of you know the difference between maaser and tzedakah. Tzedakah, it's a mitzvah from the Torah. We obligate to give a tzedakah. That's a tzedakah. We obligate to give it. How much? Minimum 10% from your profit. Maaser, it's not an obligation, Rabotai. Maaser, it's above the tzedakah. That means you're given a tzedakah, and you want to give more, that's considered as maaser. How much you're obligated to give? There is no limit to it. Whatever you want to give, you can give. That means if you give in from your profit 10 rand, that's 10 rand was your 10%, and you suddenly decide, no, I want to give another 1 rand, that's going to be my maaser. The 1 rand is considered as a maaser. You follow what I'm saying? So there is no obligation for the maaser from the Torah. So why is the Torah say asor te'aser? Look what Rashi say. Rashi, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki. Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, that's Rashi HaKadosh, he born in a city of Troa. Troa, it's a city in the north of France, and Rashi born 980 years ago. And he said like this, listen what Rashi say. Asor te'aser, asor bishvil shetit'asher. What does it mean? When you give ma'asrot, there is a guarantee that you will be rich. That means you want to be rich, give ma'aser. This is a guarantee. Hazal explained, if you give tzedakah, you'll never be poor. But if you give ma'aser, you'll be rich. Okay. What's the hidush here? I want to understand what's the hidush. So I saw a commentary of Rabbi Natan Shapira. Rabbi Natan Shapira, born 531 years ago, he born in Poland. And he wrote the book Imre Shefer. And in his book, he explained like this. Listen what he said. He said the Torah commands us to give a maaser from our crops. Okay? From every crop that you get, you obligate to take the maaser, the maasrot, and to give it to Bet HaMikdash, to the Kohanim. Okay? He said, why? He said, Rashi say, aser b'shvil shetit'asher. And I'll prove it to you. He said, when I give a maaser, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the following years, and that's what he say here, shana b'shana, year to year. What does it mean, shana b'shana? Year to year. Listen what he said. If you're given maaser this year, 2, next year I'll make sure that I will double yours. Whatever you give, I will double, if not 10 times more. Why? He said, not only that you're going to be rich, but that you give, that will lead you to do another mitzvah. What does it mean? He said like this, schar mitzvah mitzvah. The reward of a mitzvah is a mitzvah. What does it mean? I've done a mitzvah to give maaser, I will be rewarded next year to do it again. You say, how does it work? It works like this. By the way, that's the Gemara in Masechet Avot in chapter 4, Mishnah 2, Mishnah Bet. That's what Hazal says, schar mitzvah mitzvah. He said like this. He said, by that you're doing a mitzvah, you will merit to do that mitzvah again. How do I get merit to do it? That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will open his heaven on me, and he will bless us with prosperity, and I can do that mitzvah again. By that I've done this mitzvah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will reward me again to do that mitzvah. How I can do it? By that I get more. And if I can get more, I can give. That means Hazal say like this, as much that you give, you get. And say here, Rabbi Natan Shapira, from here you can understand what Rashi tried to tell us. By that you merit to do one mitzvah, you'll merit to do another mitzvah. By that you merit to give ma'asrot, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will merit you to get more. What it means to get more? That you can be afforded to do it again next year, and again, and again, and again every year. That means by that you're doing it, HaKadosh Baruch Hu guarantee you to be rich. Asor ta'aser. That means when you give the ma'asrot, I will guarantee that you're going to be rich. And that's the hidush here. The hidush here, that you're not only going to be merit to have geld, you're also going to be rich with mitzvot. Because in the world to come, the money not going to help. after 120, when a person go to heaven, he can't take with him nothing, only mitzvot. So asor ta'aser, not only that you get physically, what it means physically, money here in this world, in the world to come. When you give, I will guarantee that not only that you get here, also in the world to come. And that's what it means, char mitzvah, mitzvah. That not only that you're going to be rich in this world, you're going to be rich also for the world to come. And that's the Hidush here that Rashi tried to tell us. And Rabbi Natan Shapira explained it to us. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit together to go to have schar, mitzvah, mitzvah, shana, shana. That means that every year that our prosperity, our blessing will grow up. That we can do from one mitzvah to another mitzvah, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless us that we will have prosperity in this world and prosperity in the world to come. And if you have any she'elot, I'm going to ask everyone to unmute himself. It's time for she'elot about the Parsha. Please ask if you have any shayla. Guys, any question? Bechavod. Anyone want to ask anything? I'm opening for question. Don't be shy. No question. Marky, no question.
No.
Okay, so I hope that I explained myself clearly.
You did.
Please, God.
Thank you, Rob.
Pleasure. We're going to meet all together on Sunday. On Sunday at 8 o'clock. Is the president speaking on Sunday? There is any talk on Sunday? Anyone know?
No.
Okay. So in the meantime, we at 8 o'clock on Sunday, if there is no load shedding, because I know that there is tomorrow load shedding. If there is any change, I will keep it posted. We'll keep a show for Sunday, please God. And we're going to speak about the book of Devarim. Rabotai, it's very interesting. It's really good. I would like everyone to join us. It's really interesting. You'll see what the power of the book of Devarim. And the end of the show, I'm actually going to bring what the Kabbalistic rabbi, the Rokach, Rabbi Lazar Migarmiza, how he explained what is the book. Rabbi Lazar Migarmiza was one of the Rishonim. Rishonim is those people that lived close to 800, 900 years ago. And how he explained the book of Devarim. And we're going to give a lot of idea about the book of Devarim, who wrote it, all different idea, how many verses there is there, how many chapters, and you'll see how we're going to link them all together. How many verses there is and how does it fit? Why has this book been written in such a way? And the verses, the number of verses that there is on the book of Devarim, listen to that. How is it applied to us? And how does it work? Be'ezrat Hashem on Sunday, we'll see what the Kabbalistic rabbi, the mystical rabbi explained about the book of Devarim. In the meantime, I would like to take the opportunity again to wish all of you, keep safe, keep healthy, look after yourself, and please God, have a Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Mevorechet, and please God, will merit to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen ken yeh ratzon. All the best.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. All the best. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.